Episode 2.
Hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Rob. Welcome to Rye the Hell Not.
Episode 2 of Rye the Hell Not.
Episode 2.
So today we're going to be going through our first and right now only rye whiskey single barrel. Popped this out last September, I think, September 21. It roughly matches up to batch 3 of our regular rye whiskey. So it's about 3 years and I think 7-8 months old, something like that.
Roughly.
We thought that this barrel, when we were kind of tasting it, one of the perks of the job, one of the requirements is that we get to taste these from time to time, make sure they're kind of developing, going along, doing the things we want them to do, and then in particular checking when they're ready, right? Making sure that things are kind of meeting up to our standards. And every once in a while, you find a barrel that is doing something you didn't expect.
Whether that's location in its respective environment or temperature or whatever, right? It can all
you can get
affect the
different
outcome.
barrels from the same tree and put the same distillate in it, and you put them next to each other in the warehouse, and one's going to do something funky. Go look into Buffalo Trace. I think it's called Warehouse X. Buffalo Trace is spending an absurd amount of money to figure out some of those kind of specific barrel aging characteristics and understand what's going on where in a specifically designed warehouse. Gotta work through it.
Yeah. Is it like plants where if you talk to it and read it books, it'll do better?
Go to who is it? Copper and Kings down in Louisville. They're mostly a brandy distillery. They play.
She's a fine girl.
She's a fine girl, Brandy. They play music in their rick house. And if you go look at one of the bottles, there's like a QR code on the back, and you can scan and see what playlist that barrel was played throughout its lifespan.
Damn, we should have did that.
That's pretty cool. Well, they already did. So
Yeah. Just makes you think of Ghostbusters. Jackie
Right.
Wilson, the Statue of Liberty starts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun stuff.
Ghostbusters 2.
That was a really good like your fingers were were you the finger model for the ghost on number 2 there?
No, but fun fact, our social media manager was actually a hand model.
It was a hand model at one point in time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So back to rye.
Wonder what ever happened to
We
her.
derailed.
Rye whiskey. Rye whiskey. All right. So this comes from barrel 1754, which we've totally had almost 2,000 barrels come out through Echo Spirits.
That's impressive. You weren't supposed to give it away.
Giving away the secrets. But we thought that this one was, distinct, particularly at barrel proof when we tasted it. I would not have ever called it a rye whiskey. Rye at barrel proof is kind of accentuates all the notes that you normally get in a rye whiskey. Lots of peppercorn, lots of grass, very strong, very intense. This particular barrel was, I would not have guessed it was a rye if you put it in front of me blind.
I get tobacco. To me, it's like cracking open a cigar, right? Or like cutting the end off of it. I get a lot of tobacco
Very
notes
fresh tobacco
on the
notes.
nose.
Still some of the rye grassiness, a little bit of peppercorn.
This one has more of that spice to me too. And on the back end, I get that same kind of
It's got a very
tobacco
long
cigar note.
Tobacco cigar. Think about pulling in a mouthful of cigar smoke and kind of sitting there and letting it linger on your tongue. This one's got a very, very long finish in particular.
Yeah, it's still
compared
going.
to our regular ones. It's still going. But you're right that some of those tobacco notes, which is funny. I've never chewed tobacco. I've never smoked. I've had some cigars in my day, things like that. But I just instinctively know what tobacco means.
Well, it's like scotch. You get a lot of scotch. It's like tasting note is rope. I don't know about you. I've never had rope in my mouth, but I get it when they say it.
Really? Huh. So that is a single barrel of our rye whiskey. Good luck finding it. Go find a friend. It is not in stores. Hope to have a bunch more single barrels in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're local to Columbus, I would say there are a select amount of bars and restaurants that may or may not have this. I can think of one specifically. I don't know if we want to call people out in this for that.
There's one bar in particular that's initials, if they were to be pronounced, maybe sound like Bubba. So go on down to Bubba
Or Guildhouse.
or Guildhouse and get some rye whiskey single barrel. So,
Cheers.
Cheers.